What's going on, guys? It is MindShaz here, bringing you guys another Fortnite video, and today is actually going to be a pretty fun video to make. I took a little bit of time to come up with some concepts for some points of interest or some POIs because, I don't know, I feel like in the future this game eventually will have a new map or something will happen where they need to make a new POI, and I decided that some of the ideas weren't covered just yet. I actually had planned this video for a few months ago, and I included things like a mining camp, and I think I put like a football or baseball like stadium, and obviously a soccer stadium came to the game, and shifty shafts came to the game as well. So pretty cool how that ended up happening. I didn't obviously release the video, but these are going to be 5 more concepts that I think could be points of interest that come to Fortnite. As you guys know, there are the points of interest, if you don't know, for example, are like Tilted Towers, or Dusty Depot, or Shifty Shafts, or Snobby Shores, just the named areas in Fortnite. So I'm going to be talking about 5 of them today. There is already a wide variety of different POIs on the map. I mean, you can go from Pleasant Park, like a standard park setting with a soccer field, to Lucky Landing, which is more of a Chinese, like, it seems like there's a restaurant, it seems, and it's just Chinese themed. So I mean, it's really diverse in regards to the themes of POI. So obviously I don't think these are too far off to have an opportunity to come into the game. Also, the names I mean, I just came up with random names to match like the names in the game, so like Pleasant Park and Tilted Towers, just double lettered names. So I'm going to be going over these 5, and it would be awesome to see these in the game's future, or even on possibly, like I mentioned, a new map. So I'm going to just be quickly covering each one here. Take about 1 or 2 minutes to cover what I think should be in it and whatnot. So I'll also put the names on the screen, so that, I don't know, so you guys can just read them. So yeah, to begin, my first my first point of interest that I came up with is called Slippery Slides. Now, this is a water park themed point of interest. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just obviously a water park with multiple different colored water slides. There could be a lazy river, a kiddie area / pool, and of course like some vendor areas that sell like tickets, season passes, and food. Obviously there could be a food court. So I don't know exactly how they do about this. I mean, if you've ever been to a water park, obviously you know, but water parks can be kind of big depending on which one you go to. So I'd say it'd be kind of a smaller one. It would most likely fit in a spot near Retail Row, or in that like biome and area up on like that middle side of the map. It'd honestly probably be the same size as Haunted Hills. However, the verticality of the POI would be a lot different than Haunted Hills. Haunted Hills is kind of flat, even though it's called Hills. I mean, it is a little hilly, but obviously if it's a water park, there's going to be pretty big slides. Obviously, you'd be able to break them down for probably wood or metal, probably metal. I don't really know, but yeah, so pretty straightforward. I think you could have some water slides, like 3 or 4. Then you can have a lazy river, then you can have like the kiddie area. If you guys don't know what that is, it's if you've ever been to a water park, you know where the kids are staying at. All right, so that's the first one, Slippery Slides, which is a water park themed point of interest. Now moving on to the second one. This one is kind of already like halfway into the game, but I'll basically just get into it more while I'm elaborating about it. It is called Crazy Campground. Now, spread throughout the current map, there are several different little campsites with tents. If you've ever been just walking, I think near like some factories that are unnamed, there's like a little like tents. There's tents, and then there's campfires, and just little, obviously, like camping sites. You could probably find some in Wailing Woods, and then just some other various areas that have multiple trees surrounding them. So, I mean, the typical camping setting already is set up. However, there's no massive like campsite with several of these in a close quarter with tons of campers and a main office where like you have to get in and things like that. So I don't know if you guys have ever been to a campsite, but like an actual named campsite would be very cool to see with like campers and stuff like that. It would be similar to Lonely Lodge, but obviously with campers instead of like lodges, and other aspects of a large campground would be in there. So like a main office, they could have like a little main store with firewood outside, and then of course there'd be a ton of tents and a ton of campers and stuff like that. I don't really know where this would fit the best, and I think it would be more of a size of like a Fatal Fields or something like that, but obviously it would be more wooded. It'd be more like Wailing Woods, as to like just the amount of trees surrounding it. That would be what it's most like. So basically Wailing Woods with a lot of campers and stuff like that. We've already seen like campers and RVs in the game, so obviously they could make that happen. It'd be just cool to have an actual campground or campsite setting, in my opinion. Moving on to the third POI that I came up with, I called it Arid Airway. Now the name is kind of weird, but I couldn't come up with a good A word to match with airway. Now this point of interest is basically like a mini airfield or an airbase or an airport even, with small, probably single pilot planes. If you guys have ever seen like little airfields, they have like those big garage things where the planes are stored. They have usually like single pilot airplanes with the smaller scale runways and things like that. It could even have like a little tower that's meant for like the air traffic control. But I mean, it's honestly up to the size of the point of interest itself. Now, the thing about this is that it probably won't have that many interesting things. Obviously, we already have a bunch of the big old crate garage things. Like, they basically would look like the Dusty Depot ones, but they wouldn't have ramps going up into them. They'd just be open. I think they're in, like, the starting area of the game, too. So, it'd just be a bunch of those and then, like, a runway. So, honestly, it wouldn't be the most exciting and interesting POI, but I think it would definitely be cool to have, like, planes on the map. I think it would be between the size of Pleasant Park and Moisty Mire, somewhere between like that size. Obviously, you need a lot of space for like the runways and stuff like that. And I don't really know where it could fit on the map, but maybe for a future map it could work out. Like if we get a desert map, it would definitely work out because the desert's just open. Obviously, an airfield or airbase would fit there perfectly. But for this map, I don't really know. Just kind of an idea I had, so I thought I'd throw it into the video. Now we have two more, and these two, I'd say they're pretty flippin' solid. I really like the water park one, but this one's probably my favorite. It's called Ghastly Gambit. Now, this concept is my personal favorite because I love the areas that have like the stores and the burger places. So, like Retail Row and Greasy Grove and Pleasant Park doesn't really have a lot of stores, but it does have like a gas station and stuff. So I really like those places. Like Retail Row has the Noms, which is like the grocery store, or like, I don't know exactly. It's like a little market. And then of course it has like the bookshop or the library. And then it's got those other stores. And then of course going to Greasy Grove, you have the Durr Burger, which is probably my favorite place in the game. But a lot of people like to go there because it's got solid chests. Anyway, this would be a similar POI to Retail Row or Greasy Grove. And the main focus of it would actually be a casino. That's the point of the name, Gambit. It'd be a large casino, probably bigger than the camping and hunting store in Greasy Grove. And of course, it would be filled with slot machines and poker tables. And it honestly could have a pretty high chance of chests, to have a lot of chests too. But because of that, a lot of people would go there, and that's a high risk. So obviously, like, I try to tie in gambling with this, so that's why it'd be a high risk, high reward type of situation. Ghastly Gambit with a casino. You gamble at a casino. It's a gamble to go there to get the chests. Again, I don't exactly know where this could fit in, but if we ever get another map, I'd love to see this. I think a casino in the game is just another, like, store type thing that they haven't added, which they could definitely fit in. Obviously, it's pretty easy to make. I mean, they have a ton of different stores already, so, I mean, why not throw it in there? Missing a casino, perfect opportunity for a new point of interest. Now, for the final point of interest that I came up with, I called it Ferocious Fairgrounds. I know the name, it's just I had to find a good F word that matched with fairgrounds. But it is straightforward. It would just be like a fairground with vendor carts and food trucks. And of course, it'd have to have fair rides or thrill rides. So if you've ever been like on a tilt-a-whirl or like those big arm things that swing back and forth and make you want to throw up, I think it'd be awesome to have like a little area that has like thrill rides and food trucks and stuff like that. And of course, it would have to have a Ferris wheel, because I think having a Ferris wheel in Fortnite would be iconic. And of course, it would be a great metal farm. Chests, of course, would be hidden throughout the different rides and on food trucks. There also could, of course, be carnival tents, as well as maybe a little like parking lot for cars, obviously, that want to go there, or maybe not. Maybe people are just kind of showing up, but I think it'd be super cool. It'd honestly probably be the same size of Fatal Fields or Anarchy Acres. Yeah, I mean, fairgrounds are pretty solidly sized, so to fit all those thoroughbreds, it would need to be like the same size of Fatal Fields or Anarchy Acres. And I personally think this point of interest could really fit in with the top right, where there are just a bunch of random houses and little crop areas. I think replacing those just random like houses and crop areas with ferocious fairgrounds to make the area near Wailing Woods and Tomato Town a little more popular would be the best bet for this point of interest. But that's all 5 of them. If you guys want to see a second episode of this like POI concepts, I'll definitely go for it. To recap real quick, we had Slippery Slides, which is the water park. We had Crazy Campground, which is obviously like the campgrounds. Arid Airway, which would be like a small airbase. Ghastly Gambit, which would be kind of a casino town. And finally, Ferocious Fairgrounds, which would obviously be a fairground filled with vendor trucks and thrill rides. So, like I said, if you do want to see a second episode of Concept POIs, I can definitely make that happen. I had a lot of fun coming up with these, so let me know in the comments some POIs that you think would be cool in the game. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely drop a like. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for more Fortnite content. Love you guys so much. It's been your boy MindShaz, and peace out.